it looked like the 88. I was just looking at the top of the board that he was the fastest thing here. And I looked down in 3 and 4, and he was high, 2 lanes up the racetrack.
Smashed the side of the
wall. And hit the wall hard on the exit of turn 4. I was just looking at timing and scoring.
Down stuff, and it's
He was talking about the sticky stuff that you had mentioned there, Jeff. Stuff they put down on the track for grip.
So it's right on board with them, and it just goes straight. So.
Oh, wow.
hello, everybody.
And he's currently the fastest car. I mean, he just goes straight right there on the corner exit. He's the fastest car here. His 3rd lap was his fastest lap. He's on top of the board. That car, that contact, that's going to have to be a backup for sure. Wouldn't you think, Jeff?
And now we have an issue for the 2 of Brad Keselowski. Actually, he took advantage of going through part of the road course.
The right side of that car is heavily, heavily damaged. Looks a lot like the 88's damage. Maybe not quite as bad. I'll give him a brush. The 88 was more of a contact. That was a brush. It looked heavier from the front, but from the side view, it's not quite as bad. You see, now he starts heading up the racetrack, still in the normal gripped area. Then he gets up to the dark area, and he gets loose. His car doesn't go anywhere near straight like the 88. His is the opposite.
He was having trouble well before he got there.
Yeah,
you saw the car moving around.
It's a good job.
It looked like he was catching it down at the bottom of the racetrack, and then when he got up to the sticky stuff, it was
not
less
sticky.
than what he was expecting.
Yeah, I said it was heavily damaged because I saw some marks on the right front tire, and normally you have to smash the fender in to get to it. But if you see right here, look at this.
Wow. What a save.
I didn't know drifting was allowed in NASCAR. Holy moly. But that's, right there. I mean, he never wants it. Look at that.
Wow.
So I only think they better just look at their steering components. I think the body and the chassis is fine, but that right front tire itself hit the wall a little bit when he had it corrected. But what a save, because it should have been way more damage than that.
On the 17.
And the caution has come out. A red flag has been displayed for the 18 of Kyle Busch. Looks like another one into the wall.
Well, again, way high on corner exit and just lost grip. That looked very similar to what we saw with Dale Jr. Not quite as severe of a turn, but see right there, the car just has no grip. And now it's just, he can't get the car to turn.
He has to go to a backup car. David Reagan in the 38. I'll call that more of a brush. It's still a pretty big impact for the guy in the seat, but I think that car is repairable. And then Chase Elliott with a heck of a save to not make contact.
What may happen, but this places the challenge.
We have had another issue in turn 4.
Here, just take it easy. Take your time.
I don't see any damage on the 78, so perhaps it was just a spin. There was definitely a bunch of smoke and tire smoke, so something was going on.
I'm not sure that they didn't get the formula a little mixed up with what I'm seeing.
Well, but to your point about corner entry, though, so Parker talked about how maybe it's not cleaned off yet. Maybe that's why they can drive through it on corner entry, because everyone's forced to drive through it.
Yeah.
So maybe it's getting cleaner there. We're just going to have to see as the weekend unfolds if the cars are going to be able to move up the racetrack. Some fluid or something on the camera right there.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
It's never a good thing to see on a camera on a sunny day.
One more look at it, and we'll see exactly if we can see what happened.
Did a nice job staying off the wall.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, great job staying off the wall and then conveniently coming right to pit road after that. That's the best way to do that, isn't it?
Sports Toyota Camry on-track car, and yeah, you may have seen it, but take a look at this. There are steps that were left out on the track. Everybody thought it was Jeff Burton that was driving this car.
This is what happens when you let somebody borrow your car.
Yep. Your dad always told you, I know mine did, don't let your friends drive your car.
Exactly. They all blame it on me, Dale.
And now for the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome your grand marshals, Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina employees and breast cancer survivors, Farrah Palumbo and Catherine Hornbeck.
Drivers, start your engines!
Up front, Suarez and Blaney. Green flags in the air. We're racing at Charlotte. Blaney trying to make that outside line work in the 22, and already somebody right up against the wall. William Byron in the 9. on that outside line, falling back just a bit up the racetrack.
Watch these cars in this outside line. Remember, they put the sticky stuff on the racetrack at that outside line, and in cut practice, it caused a lot of problems. Let's see if it's better today.
The only place they're getting under you. All right, nice rhythm here. We'll get you fixed up.
Oh, and into the wall, we've got Smoker right in front of him. Around goes the 78. Angela Ruck behind the wheel of the 78s, and that brings out the first caution. 17 to go in this first stage.
You have to view this as an opportunity, but you can see right here, Angela comes into screen, and car just comes around on her. A little bit of contact in the wall for sure, some rear damage. Not massive contact, but certainly some rear damage.
Yeah, Brendan Gaughan going by. I know he wasn't very close, but I'm sure it caught his attention. With everything that's on the line in this race, any smoke in front of him was definitely an attention grabber.
So around goes the 78. That brings out the first caution. Another look as we were riding along with Brendan Gaughan.
Down, stay down, watch him coming down the bank. Check up, go all the way without him. All good there. All right, good job there.
Track, Erik Jones took advantage of it, and into the wall again, the 78.
Off the brake.
Angela Ruck once again has got into the wall. A lot of damage to the back of the 78 now.
Yeah, it doesn't take long for it to get away from you. Let's see. She doesn't look like she's quite up there. I think that probably had a lot to do with what happened from the first crash whenever she backed it into the wall.
A much harder impact this time.
Angela Ruck, the niece of Derek Cope, who won the Daytona 500. A lot of damage to the right rear and rear of that car.
Yeah, and this stage is probably going to end under the caution here, and so I would say they're probably looking at getting there, especially after they had to run through.
Right here, Rick, you see it laying there in the middle of the racetrack. Here comes Justin, and he's just going to slam it with the front end of that car. That's important because of aerodynamics down there, both making a hole but also hitting that splitter, which helps the car at the front. They came down twice, and they put tape on and tried to fix that the best they could. Now the 11 of play.
Car just got into the wall in turns 1 and 2. It looks like it's the 23, and so Spencer Gallagher was running 12th as he got into the wall. By the way, that was spotter communication.
Keep the fueler back. We'll send one mechanic over.
We were listening into the spotter communication of the 9, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Take another look here. Sparks already flying as he was entering turn 1.
Yeah, it looked like he might have run over something and had a right front tire going down there. I believe that's the biggest issue that he's got. Yeah, there was still debris and a lot of debris from that previous caution.
Bottom up here, park it. Be careful. Tires blowing.
And once again, look who was right behind an incident on the racetrack. The 62 of Brendan Gaughan.
He's getting more action than he really bargained for here tonight as he's trying to navigate his way back up through the pack.
And remember, guys, Allegiant Airlines is sponsoring that car. They're doing so much to try to help the families of the victims in a Las Vegas tragedy this past
the
week.
Ryan Reed, are you all right? We saw you take a little spill there.
Yeah, I went for a little ride there. The lug nut under the splitter, and I just tripped going for it, so it's all good.
You're going to be all good to continue pitting?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
You're going to be all good to continue pitting?
Oh, yeah, all good. Just got my shoe a little bit, that's all.
There you go, guys. He's going to be fine down here.
It's pretty tough.
Absolutely.
You get run over by a car.
Yeah, you see this too many times. Those guys are just unbelievable at the positions they put themselves in sometimes just to get their job done.
And a spin on the track. The 20 goes around. Erik Jones is going to make contact with the inside wall.
Bro, sorry.
Just lost it off turn 2.
Get it back to her.
And guys, he's been struggling with the race car. In fact, about 5 laps ago, he came on the radio. He said zero confidence in the back end of the car. It had been extremely free, and they actually had a hole in the nose as well.
Erik Jones, you can see he's up here trying to make that top side work, but just not enough grip there. Got loose on the exit of the corner. So one Joe Gibbs Racing car and driver having some difficulty, but the benefactor is a teammate that is trying to make his way into the round of 8.
You see how Kane just came around on him. He was talked about being loose and, you know, just pushing a little bit too hard, trying to keep speed, trying to keep track position, knowing that if you fall too many spots back, you're not going to have a chance to win the race. So as we ride along, listen.
Yellow's out, back it down here, back it down. Spin is on the bottom, track is clear.
Yeah, the yellow's me, right? That's,
Good job, man, way to work there.
you know, you heard him get in the throttle. He got free, and then he went back to the throttle, and then he got even more free, and it just went around on him.
And so a rough ride for the 20. Just heard debris on the racetrack.
That is a big piece of debris.
Yeah.
Wow.
Almost, is that like a radiator or something? That's huge.
I don't know what it is, to be honest.
It looks like a box.
Yeah, it's a box of some sort. Where it came from, I don't know.
And
oh
yeah, that's why I don't know why it is, because it didn't come out of a race car.
It's the
what indicates.
yeah,
it's what indicates if you have a black flag. It came from the flag stand. It was from that. The display board that was on, which amazingly didn't get hit.
He has an extra set of tires.
Oh, around goes the 5. Michael Annette sliding sideways.
That extra set of tires I was talking about, Rick, he's going to need them now.
Caution.
Oh, yeah, try and get a fire if you can.
Still has not come out as he's turning back around. Smoke inside the cockpit.
We got flat right front here.
And no caution, they're still going. Backing up a little bit. The 22 got into the back of him. Now he's 3 wide. Got it straightened back out, but you can see they're just splitting him so much faster than he is on those old tires. Right there. Essentially 4 wide, contact with the 0-1. Harrison Rhodes, and around he goes.
Yeah, they choose that strategy to try to stay out on old tires to figure maybe we'll get lucky and get a late caution and put those new tires on, but spinning out cost them a lot. And then with no yellow, because basically he spun right to the entrance of pit road, NASCAR left the track under green flag.
Alex Bowman, the 24-year-old from Tucson, Arizona, will take over for Dale Jr., but right now he wins in Charlotte.
Thank you guys so much. I can't thank you guys.
To put on today after a long delay.
Hasn't run these Xfinity cars all year. I mean, that just shows the amount of talent this young man has. You know, Rick Hendrick understood what he did last year, coming in there, subbing for Dale Jr. Some really good runs, giving this young man a chance. Now that Dale Jr. is going to retire, it was obviously the right choice.
It's the way to come back to the racetrack, Rick. Welcome back. That's a way to make a re-entrance right there. After being out of the car for almost a year, I got to know the emotion in the final few laps. Did it seem surreal?
Absolutely. I kept thinking a caution was going to come out, you know. Just can't thank Mr. Hendrick and Chip Ganassi for letting me drive this car enough. Means so much. We got Vinoy Construction here on the quarter panel, and Shane Vinoy passed away Friday night, so definitely in memory of him. To get my first win here in my second home of Charlotte means so much. Thank you so much to all the fans for sticking out this rain delay. Man, HendrickCars.com, CGR, Mike, everybody, this whole 42 team. It's been a long time since I've raced. I was terrible on pit stops. I didn't do a good job on pit road, but I felt like my restarts were really good, and it feels amazing to finally get us one.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal, Brad Paisley.
Drivers, start your engines.
All right, Daniel, you can fire it up when you're ready, bud. Fire it up. All right, fire it up. Check 1, 2, 3. You got a copy there? How about you up there, Chris? You got the loud clear?
And we see that 88s that won the championship back in 1999. Dale Jarrett is behind the wheel. That's right, Hall of Famer Dale Jarrett behind the wheel, honoring today Robert Yates. And all of the crew members standing at attention as they watch that 88 goes by. And you look back to Atlanta and Dale Jarrett, the big smile on his face after winning the championship. And right there, Robert Yates, team owner, arm in arm. Again, Robert Yates lost his battle with cancer earlier this week. He was 74 years old, and they'll honor him today, and the fans have honored Robert Yates, the Yates family, all in attendance here, and so thankful of all of the outpouring of support and love over the last week and all through Robert's battle with cancer. Flags in the air. The high groove is going to be tested early. the backstretch they go. Over 200 miles an hour. They'll enter turn 3 early in these runs. He's going to try the lower line and they go around. Ryan Newman spins in the 31. There's damage to a car that went by him in front. We see the 31 of Newman. He has already spun. A lot of damage to the front and rear of that car.
Middle 3 and 4.
Newman taken out of the playoffs a week ago at Dover, and you see the flames already rolling out of the right side.
Oh, there you got fire on the right front.
Looks like Ryan Newman exits the corner, and he's either pushing up the racetrack or doesn't know the 14's there, but he makes contact his right rear quarter panel to the left front of the 14, and that's it. I mean, they're too fast and too low of grip to be making contact at that point of the racetrack. It sends the 31 spinning, as you mentioned, damage to the left front of the 14, but he also got into the wall with the right side.
We'll see how bad the damage will be to the 14, Clint Boyer, if he is able to continue on and be competitive.
Yeah, when you look at this, and you always have to think that there's blame to be put somewhere, but you can also just look at that when you're racing at high speeds at 160 miles per hour on the exit of the corner right there, sometimes you just run out of room. The driver on the inside, his car is washing up the track a little bit.
You have a yellow on the racetrack. 95.
95 goes around. That's Michael McDowell. And it looks as though unscathed. Maybe just a single car slide. He was running 23rd at the time.
You see right here, he comes in the screen. He's already sideways. Did a great job of keeping it off the wall. You saw he was in the gas, had the rear tire spinning. Then he locked them down at just the right time. Problem is he's got to drive that car all the way back around to the pits. Pits are open now. Leaders on pit road.
Got the right front.
And you see a lot of smoke and a lot of damage to the right side of that 18.
Kyle Busch running that high lane, and the car just comes around. Just simply got way loose. Almost, it got so loose so quickly, it almost made me think he had some kind of a problem.
You focus on driving that thing, you hear me? We'll focus on fixing it. We're going to run all these laps.
But when Greg Gaulding came to pit road, saw the fire in that right front wheel. Pit crew went to work quickly, got the wheel and tire off, changed it, and then they made sure to put the fire out. Oh, big hit by the 38 into Danica Patrick at the 10. Caution comes out for the 7th time today. David Reagan in the 38, the 10 of Danica Patrick involved. Look at the damage to the right front.
Man beyond repair then. I'm hearing most of the laps. It feels really bad.
And they were running 26 and 27th.
The right front wheel, there's suspension damage on the 10. Right front wheel towed completely in. So that will be the end of the day for Danica Patrick and the 10.
Simple, we're done. It's still pretty good. Tires off the ground right now.
Crews were up as we take a look at what happened.
Danica's just on the bottom of the racetrack and just nowhere to go. I know it's 2 positions, and with big impact right there. But these 2 cars were actually running in front of Kyle Busch, so that's 2 spots that Kyle Busch will pick up.
2 more points potentially for Busch. And we heard Marty say that the crews were already up on the wall, but with 68 laps to go, Steve, you just mentioned that the fuel window is anywhere from 60 to 65.
You know how you said earlier in the show, and Kyle Busch is going to end the fuel mileage conversation by bringing out the 8th caution of the day.
Slides, the smoke, and the caution. It has been a rough day for Kyle Busch.
Yeah, you can see pieces of that tape is coming off that were kind of holding other parts there and holding it together. And as that comes loose, then that side force that Jeff and Stevie pointed out earlier just doesn't have it.
That's an interesting point, though. This is one of the shortest runs we've seen all day. With only 9 laps on their tires, do you pit or do you not? Yesterday in the Xfinity race, I thought William Byron was in great position at the end of the race. Boy, was I wrong. Those old tires.
Huge gap between 1 and 2. Under 3 laps to go. Way up the racetrack. The 41 caught the back of the 42. Around goes Kurt Busch. Busch comes back up the racetrack. The caution comes out.
It's out.
So now how much damage does Kyle Larson have to his car?
Yeah, a lot of smoke. You can see that as he exited turn 2 after the contact. Yeah, you don't want that. You can see right here, Kurt Busch got just really loose, chased it up the track and into. I just saw the 42 have a lot of smoke as he was up to speed still. So we'll see when they go back and get up to speed again if they have some problems there. But that could have been a lot worse than it turned out.
Look at that car, how loose Kyle Busch got on corner entry. I'm sorry, Kurt Busch got on corner entry, and the only thing he could do is turn the wheel back to the right to keep him spinning out.
And he had done such a great job with this race car all day long. Ran right around and inside the top 5 pretty much all day. Just that one wiggle.
Keep digging, no yellows. Keep digging.
And look at that thing sideways. You can actually see the hood buffeting there with the wind. Martin Truex Jr. will win the Bank of America 500.
Big rig over on the front. Big rig on the front.
Chris Buescher sliding. Take a look at the end here and the chaos that ensued.
Just a couple of teammates there, AJ and Chris Buescher.
Battling for 17th.
Good week of sleep.
That's his 6 wins in the Monster Energy Cup Series for Martin Truex Jr. This moment presented by Sunoco, fueling victories all season long.
We talk about it. Sometimes it's a little bit sweeter whenever you have to really work extremely hard. Not that they don't, all the races aren't hard, but they have a car so dominant sometimes that they make it look easy. This today was a body of work by everybody involved, especially a great drive by Martin Truex.
Krista.
A very familiar scene, as has been in 2017. Martin Truex Jr., the 6th win this season. The crew is going absolutely crazy as the confetti flies. When Martin Truex pulled his car in, at first it was a big smile. Then as Cole Pern, your crew chief, came around to talk to you, you closed your eyes and laid your head back. What were you thinking in that moment?
Just thanking him for being the best there is. I mean, so lucky to get to do this, and I don't know, it's just one of those weekends, a lot of pressure. You know, we qualified poorly, and I was mad about it, and Cole was mad about it, and then 20 minutes later, we're like, all right, I think this is where we went wrong, and he's like, yeah, that's what we did wrong. We screwed up. We'll get him Sunday. So just thankful to him and this whole team and Barney and everybody for giving us everything we need. Everybody at Gibbs for the chassis and, you know, the collaboration on the aero side. I mean, these guys work really well together, so I got a lot to thank those guys for. TRD, Salisbury, Costa Mesa, Toyota, everybody. Thanks to them. Auto Owners Insurance today, they've been pretty lucky on this car. And they started this thing without even telling me at their offices, and they said it's called Ride with Martin for our next race, and everybody contributed money to my foundation to have their name on the car. They gave me a check today for $75,000 for our foundation, so they're an unbelievable partner, so thank you to them. I'm so happy to get them in victory lane, but just everybody, Bass Pro, Johnny Morris, Furniture Row, Denver Mattress, 5 Hour, Wicks. We got so many partners, so many people to thank. Make sure I don't forget any. Beechcraft Textron Aviation helps us get to the track safe, and Garmin, just everybody, and it's just surreal, man, this whole year, so just thankful.
Martin, we see the emotion, and we know your story is an emotional one, whether on the track or off the track. We don't see Sherry here right now. We know you guys, you and your longtime girlfriend, have been through a lot. And when you think of what's happening, whether you're on the track and you're frustrated about qualifying, like you said, the fact that you get checked for your foundation, everything that you guys go through, I know the highs are higher, but you guys take it one day at a time. Is that what this emotion is all about that I'm seeing in your eyes right now?
Yeah, you try to hold it all in all the time, and
You don't have to. You don't have
You
to.
just can't, but she's at home, so hope you're feeling good today, babe. Love you.
Martin Truex Jr. not only has dominated this season, the mile-and-a-halfs, no driver has finished top 10 in all 8 mile-and-a-half races except for the one that goes where he's most comfortable right now. As we said, the highs, the lows of life. He's with his crew, and that's in victory lane.